Parasite, Gu, breeding longevity path, starting from the love-enamored Gu. Author, Thousand Lakes True Person. Chapter 501. The main ingredient of the God Transformation Pill, 9 Dragon's Vine, promotes to second grade spiritual root _4. After all, the entire island had become a ruin, with many of the 5th stage formations damaged. There is a need for array masters to repair these prohibition arrays. Meanwhile, the major teleportation arrays also need to be repaired. The ancient teleportation array was no exception. Luckily, he had cultivated many clones. This laborious task could be delegated to his clones. If his real body were to undertake this task, who knows how much time would be wasted. Several days passed again. Inside the quiet chamber, Zhou Sui had retrieved the Buddha flame root, a 5th grade spiritual medicine, from the Divinity Transformation Medicinal Garden. Of course, he also left some seeds. As long as the medicine Gu progressed to the 4th stage, he could start cultivating this 5th grade spiritual medicine and grow more Buddha flame roots. He sat cross-legged on the cushion without another word and immediately swallowed the Buddha flame root, the 5th grade spiritual medicine. Bang! In an instant, after eating the Buddha flame root, Zhou Sui knew immediately why the 5th grade spiritual medicine was called the Buddha flame root. At this moment, he surprisingly found that a cluster of Buddha's fire, glowing golden, had sprung from within him, as if he housed a Buddha within his body. However, this flame had no harmful effects on his body. It was merely tempering his soul, his body, his spiritual root. Zhou Sui was greatly surprised. He felt the endless power of Buddha's fire continuously increasing and refining his spiritual root, vaguely hearing the rhythmic chant of the Buddha's teachings. He seemed to see many impurities on his spiritual root being expelled and being burnt and tempered by the Buddha's fire. The level of his spiritual root was continuously improving, gradually appearing transparent, just like a crystal. He didn't know how much time had passed. Bang! Zhou Sui felt a resonance within his body. It seemed like the rhythm of the Buddha's teachings resonating, refining his entire body, dyeing it a golden hue as if transforming him into an arhat. Second grade spiritual root. At once, he knew his spiritual root aptitude had greatly enhanced. It had advanced from the 3rd grade spiritual root to the 2nd grade spiritual root. Did I advance to a 2nd grade spiritual root just like that? Indeed, assistance from spiritual medicine is needed. Otherwise, how could I have advanced this quickly? Zhou Sui's excitement escalated to an unparalleled degree. If he had to rely on the power of the obsession Gu, he would probably need decades or even centuries to enhance his spiritual root to the level of 2nd grade aptitude. Yet now, by leveraging the power of the 5th grade spiritual medicine, the Buddha flame root, he had saved centuries of time and helped elevate his spiritual root to the 2nd grade level. Of course, the power of the obsession Gu still proved to be quite useful. After all, spiritual medicines like the Buddha flame root of the 5th grade are nearly extinct in the cultivation world, extremely hard to find. If he hadn't discovered these God transformation relics, he couldn't have obtained the Buddha flame root, a 5th grade spiritual medicine. So the power of the obsession Gu remained paramount. The efficiency of absorbing nature's spiritual energy is much greater than before. Zhou Sui invoked the Insect God Sutra. With his body as the center, a massive spirit energy vortex was formed, and the surrounding nature's spiritual energy, like a tidal wave, was absorbed through the spiritual root and entered the depths of his body. The efficiency of absorbing nature's spiritual energy is at least twice as fast as before. This was an astonishing improvement in efficiency. In all honesty, with an aptitude of the 2nd grade spiritual root, even if placed within the nascent soul sect, one could already become an inner sect disciple. After all, disciples with heavenly spirit roots are quite rare, they only come once in a blue moon. However, those with a 2nd grade spiritual root aptitude are the backbone of the nascent soul sect, their numbers are naturally quite bountiful. But it's not just the efficiency of absorbing spiritual energy that had improved either. Even his insight, compared to before, had seen a significant increase. At this moment, he felt that his thinking speed had accelerated many times compared to before. It was as if the dust in his soul had been burnt away by the power of the Buddha's flame. Now, his thinking speed was at least twice as fast as it was before. Without a doubt, if we discuss his comprehension, his current aptitude could undoubtedly be considered genius level. Even if he hadn't reached the level of unmatched genius, he was still considered a rarity in the world. No way, the medicinal power of the 5th grade spiritual medicine, Buddha flame root, hasn't ended yet. Could it continue for an extended period? Zhou Sui was taken aback. He sensed that his spiritual root was still enveloped in a bundle of golden flames, constantly tempering his spiritual root and enhancing the power of his spiritual root and soul every moment. The Buddha's fire hadn't been extinguished and was still blazing fiercely. Apparently, the potency of this fifth-grade spiritual medicine, the Buddha flame root, is not as simple. Before the medicinal potency is depleted, this fifth-grade spiritual medicine, the Buddha flame root, may enhance his spiritual root to the first-grade level. Of course, this requires a long time. It isn't something that can be accomplished overnight. Chapter 502. Proficient in Kurong Mysterious Light Technique, State of Sword Heart _1. 5 years later. Inside a secluded room in Immortal Mist Peak. Zhou Sui sat cross-legged on the ground, his hands forming arcane gestures. A radiant display of white and black light alternated on his body, symbolizing the cycle of life and death, embodying the mysteries of life and death. Vaguely, a pattern resembling the Taiji and Yin-Yang symbol seemed to appear behind him. Grass on the plain, withers and flourishes every year, cannot be burned completely by wildfire, yet revives with the spring wind. Excellent, I have finally cultivated this divine method, Kurong Mysterious Light, to the proficient level. The essence of this divine method lies in the transformation and alternation of life and death. It is like equivalent exchange, both life and death are the same thing. Only by understanding the essence of life and death can we comprehend this supreme divine method. Zhou Sui took a deep breath, his eyes glittered with a terrifying brilliance as if the power of life and death merged on his body, and the Kurong energy within him flickered intermittently. After 5 years of contemplation, he finally has cultivated this supreme divine method from the Kurong sect Kurong Mysterious Light, to the proficient level. Even in the history of the Kurong sect, only the select few could cultivate this divine method to proficiency. Upon reaching this realm, he could trade 5 years of his own lifespan for 1 year of his enemy's lifespan. Compared to the beginner's and adept level, the power of this realm has definitely been greatly enhanced. Though the price one has to pay is quite substantial, it is certainly enough now, and it is almost ready to be put into actual combat scenarios. Of course, to be truly ready for combat, one must cultivate to the minor accomplishment stage. In such case, he could trade a year of his own lifespan for a year of his enemy's lifespan. Indeed, achieving the realm where a life is traded for another life. Having reached the proficient level, he has a deeper understanding of the amazing capabilities of this divine method, which can transform the power of life and death. It is profoundly exquisite, pointing directly to the essence of the Tao, unfathomable in its depth. Purely out of honesty, if it were not for the power of the bookworm, which greatly enhanced his comprehension, it would have taken him hundreds of years to cultivate this divine method to the proficient level. There's no rush. Although I now have a long lifespan, there is no obligation to exchange life for life with an enemy. Unless it is to face an irresistible enemy, then this move will be used. If it can be killed with one slap, only a fool would use this divine method. Doing so is purely courting death. Oh yes, first let's see how my virtual panel is. With a thought, Zhou Sui reflexively activated his virtual panel. Host, Zhou Sui, Cultivation, Early Stage Nascent Soul, Progress 13%, Lifespan, 105, out of 15,400, years. Aptitude, 2nd grade Spiritual Root, 20%. Swordsmanship, 4th stage lower level, 5%. Rune, 4th stage lower level, 5%. 7th order formation, 5th stage middle level, 10%. Pill Master, 4th stage lower level, 40%. Artifact Refining, 4th stage lower level, 5%. Phantasma Transformation Skill, Grandmaster, 99%. 5 Elements Alchemy Technique, Grandmaster, 99%. Illusory Demon Heart Method, Demon Seed, Summon Demon. 7 Apertures Spirit Secret, Heart Eye Recognition, Heart Eye Insight, Heart Eye Linguistic Skills. Kurong Mysterious Light, Proficient, Ancient Turtle Skill, 2nd level, Soul Dispersing Stinger, Great Achievement, Fireball Technique, Grandmaster, Wind Blade Art, Grandmaster, Golden Light Skill, Grandmaster, Ice Frost Skill, Grandmaster, Spring Wind Rain Skill, Grandmaster, Lightning Summoning Skill, Grandmaster. Obsession Goo, 5th stage lower level, Clone Goo, 4th stage lower level, Wine Bug, 4th stage lower level, Gold Eating Bug, 4th stage lower level, Bookworm, 4th stage lower level, Dream Soul Goo, 4th stage middle level, Dragon Elephant Goo, 4th stage lower level, Golden Light Thousand Poison Goo, 4th stage lower level, Teleportation Insect, 4th stage lower level, Array Heart Goo, 5th stage upper level, Object Searching Goo, 4th stage lower level, Robbery Thunder Worm. 4th stage middle level, Medicine Goo, 4th stage lower level. As I thought, my spiritual root aptitude has indeed advanced to the 2nd grade realm. Zhou Sui was quite satisfied. Apparently, the effect of the 5th grade spiritual medicine, Buddha Flame Root, was tremendous, helping my spiritual root to advance from the 3rd grade to the 2nd grade. Even now, its medicinal effect is still not over and continues to play its role. In a short while, perhaps I will be able to advance my spiritual root to the 1st grade realm. But indeed, cultivating in the nascent soul realm is extremely difficult. After practicing hard for 5 years, the progress is just 13%. No wonder cultivators of the nascent soul realm often need several hundreds of years to cultivate. If I don't depend on pills, even if I grow old and die, I still won't be able to advance to the divinity transformation realm. Under the current cultivation environment, it is almost impossible to produce God transformation cultivators. Zhou Sui increasingly felt the difficulty of cultivating in the nascent soul realm. Even though he has a 2nd grade spiritual root and cultivates every day, his progress is slow as a snail. Without the virtual panel, he won't be able to sense any improvement in his cultivation. One can imagine how other cultivators at the nascent soul realm would feel. Of course, he is not anxious. Because over the course of 5 years, his medicine goo has advanced to the lower level of the 4th stage. That means, with the power of medicine goo, he can cultivate a whole bunch of 1000-year-old spiritual medicines. A life goo at the 4th stage can nurture drops of green fluid on its body that, if dripped onto a 4th grade spiritual medicine, can imbue it with the potency of 100 years within 1 year of growth. With 10 years of growth, the medicine could possess the potency of 1000 years medicine. As you can imagine, if one gets a seed of 4th grade spiritual medicine, with just 10 years' time, one could cultivate several 1000-year-old spiritual medicines. This is the power of a 4th grade medicine goo. With the medicine goo, there is no need to worry about exhausting my lifespan before I can obtain a 1000-year-old spiritual medicine. Chapter 503. Proficient in Kurong Mysterious Light Technique, State of Sword Heart _2. Even substantial growths of 1000-year-old spiritual medicines could be cultivated. After that, refining a 4th stage treasure pill would be a piece of cake. With the presence of the 1000-year-old spiritual medicine, I should be able to attempt refining a 4th stage treasure pill. The reason for the scarcity of the 4th stage pill masters is inextricably linked to the rarity of the 1000-year-old spiritual medicine. After all, the profession of an alchemist relies heavily on practical experience. If they had never tried alchemy, how could their cultivation improve? Therefore, the vast majority of the 4th stage pill masters in the Kanglan Sea are only at the lower 4th level. It's difficult to cook without rice. The ancient era, abundant with 1000-year-old spiritual medicines, surely wouldn't only have these 4th stage pill masters. Zhou Sui stroked his chin. He was still at the lower 4th level of his alchemy cultivation. After all, his experience with refining the 4th stage treasure pill wasn't extensive, so the rate of cultivation was naturally very slow. But that was expected. But now it was different. After the medicine goo advanced to the 4th stage, it could nurture a rich supply of 1000-year-old spiritual medicine. Even if he casually wasted the 1000-year-old spiritual medicine, he would not feel much heartache. Then, he could continuously raise the cultivation of pill masters, advancing to the middle and upper levels of the 4th stage. Perhaps in no time, he would be the strongest alchemist in Kanglan Sea. Of course, he didn't need such a title. After all, he was only refining pills to improve his own cultivation, and did not intend to sell too many of them. Clearly, Zhou Sui's cultivation had improved during the 5 years, but not just that. The 100 arts of cultivation also were improved. Among them, the skills of runes, alchemy, and artifact refining advanced to the lower 4th level. Only the formation cultivation level reached the middle 5th level, owing to the power of the array heart goo. Because the array heart goo constantly absorbed the 5th stage formations of the Kurong Island, his comprehension of the 5th stage formation progressed to the middle 5th level. He wouldn't dare say that his formation level was the best in the cultivation world. But the number of cultivators who could match his formation level was definitely few and far between. Finally, my swordsmanship also progressed to the lower 4th level. Zhou Sui clenched his fist. The improvement of many cultivation techniques was superficial. The improvement of sword cultivation directly enhanced his combat power. Especially the power of his clone, which, obviously, saw a significant improvement. After all, his clone didn't have the aid of goo insects, and had to rely solely on itself. So after the improvement in sword techniques, the combat prowess of the clone also became more formidable. To improve to the 4th level of swordsmanship is actually quite simple. That is to promote the 3rd stage intent of the sword and advance to the state of sword heart. Reaching this level is like having thousands of swords bowing to you. A further change in sword intent is the heart of the sword. Once you master the sword heart, you'll gain the power of the heart. Under the influence of the sword heart, all things can become sword. Zhou Sui squinted his eyes. He initially thought that the power of the heart was unique to him, but he didn't expect that the 4th order sword cultivator would also possess similar power. Only when the sword intent is condensed to the extreme, will it condense into the heart of the sword. Of course, the power of the sword heart a sword cultivator has can't compare with the understanding of the heart gaze that's cultivated from his 7 apertures spirit secret. The strength of heart is at a higher level. The sword heart I grasped is naturally the true dragon sword heart. Under the cover of the sword heart's power, the power of the true dragon overlooks the earth. All things will be controlled and destroyed by the power of the true dragon. Zhou Sui held a long sword in his hand, and he felt an invisible power of sword heart gush out from his body, spreading hundreds of miles around him, as if forming a domain of the sword. In the sky above, it seemed as if a real dragon had appeared, overlooking all living beings from God's view, controlling everything. With just a thought, a sword chi could be fired, beheading an enemy thousands of miles away. It could effortlessly pierce through an enemy's body. It can be said that under the cover of sword heart, every action of the enemy can't be hidden. It could even foresee the enemy's actions. This is one of the reasons why the 4th level of swordsmanship is so strong. The average cultivator faced with a 4th stage sword cultivator is at an inherent disadvantage. Of course, different sword hearts will bestow different powers. For instance, my true dragon sword heart will hold power that's domineering, commanding, and unrivaled under heaven, capable of conquering any obstacle and pulverizing all in its path. There's also one known as the righteous sword heart, able to discern good from evil, perceive wickedness. The killing sword heart slaughters all things under heaven, unstoppable, and seeping with murderous intent. The demon-slaying sword heart senses demons and causes double damage. Moreover, the power of the sword heart surpasses that of sword intent. Silent and shadowless. With a single sword strike, it can penetrate the enemy's defense, piercing through the soul and vital organs. That's why a 4th stage sword cultivator is considered peerless in combat, even if wearing protective spiritual treasure, it'd be to no avail. Zhou Sui keenly sensed the sword heart's power within himself. He increasingly understood why the Tianjian sect was currently the top sect in the Kanglan Sea region, and why even Sea clan cultivators and demon cultivators didn't dare provoke them. Because every single sword cultivator possessed formidable battle power. Especially those of the nascent soul level, each capable of striking above their level and challenging those stronger than them. Just a moment of negligence could result in an ordinary cultivator being pierced through by sword chi, dying with no place to bury them. Back when the cultivation world was invaded by demons, it was the sword cultivators who stood up to fight, each wielding their sword. No one knows how many demons they killed, earning great merit. Sword cultivators were regarded as the best combat profession, not just boasting, but carved out in bloodshed. No wonder I understood 4th stage swordsmanship so easily. Understood the true dragon sword heart. It turns out, from the beginning, I already grasped the strength of heart. In this way, comprehending 4th stage swordsmanship was even easier. Zhou Sui stroked his chin. No wonder he found comprehending the true dragon sword heart so simple, as though everything fell into place naturally, without requiring much effort. To be honest, he heard that very few Tianjian sect cultivators could become nascent soul cultivators and comprehend 4th stage swordsmanship. To date, the number of nascent souls in the Tianjian sect was the smallest. Possibly less than half of other nascent soul sects. But their combat power was the strongest. For sword cultivators, the most challenging part isn't forming the nascent soul, it's understanding the sword heart. Once the sword heart is comprehended, the heart devil tribulation is no longer an issue, as it can be torn apart with a single sword strike. Simultaneously, it's not a problem for the heavenly tribulation. Powerful sword cultivators aren't afraid of the nascent soul heavenly tribulation. So, understanding the state of sword heart, for sword cultivators, is the highway to a nascent soul. Comprehending the sword heart nearly guarantees attainment of a nascent soul. Zhou Sui narrowed his eyes. Apparently, the sword cultivation path was extremely difficult, yet once unraveled, it was extremely powerful. No need to borrow external forces, one could rely solely on oneself to tread a broad and smooth path. But he was not a cultivator who focused solely on swordsmanship. For him, swordsmanship was just a tool to enhance his combat power. It would be great if it continued to increase. But if the cultivation of swordsmanship cannot continue to ascend, it doesn't matter. His core was to control all insects from the Insect God Sutra. Yes, my ancient turtle skill had also leveled up, reaching the second stage. Zhou Sui gave a faint smile. Apart from swordsmanship and the proficient withering and flourishing mystic light, he had also advanced in his ancient turtle skill. This defensive cultivation technique was considered unparalleled in the world. Once this technique was mastered, one could form the ancient turtle shield, providing full-rounded protection to the body. Upon reaching the second stage, he could form 2 layers of the turtle's defenses. Compared to before, his defense had increased exponentially. Now, the chi shield he formed was like a real turtle shell. Even if he stood still, he could withstand a nascent soul cultivator's bombardment. Even capable of repelling a sword cultivator's attacks. This demonstrated the supremacy of the ancient turtle skill, the ultimate defensive technique. After cultivating for several hours, Zhou Sui consolidated his cultivation, exiting his quiet room feeling refreshed. That's when he saw Ji Binjiu and others approaching. Chapter 504. The Taoist couple advances to Golden Core, 2 realms merging _1. You have finally ascended to the Golden Core realm. Zhou Sui was overjoyed. He sensed the Golden Core aura on Ji Binjiu, Muzii, and Xia Jinjian. After 5 years of intense cultivation, his 3 partners had finally ascended to the Golden Core realm. They are now early-stage Golden Core cultivators, with a lifespan of 500 years. You must know, their ages are now just over 100, merely a decade or so older than him. Such a young age to ascend to Golden Core, even among the nascent soul sects, would be considered as genius. A future of longevity is coming into view. We would have become a laughingstock if we hadn't ascended. Given what husband has provided us with, so many core formation spiritual items. Even the golden liquid jade return pill. There aren't many foundation establishment cultivators who are as indulged as us. If we failed in becoming gold core masters, then nobody could. Ji Binjiu spoke with a lot of emotion. She had never dreamed that she would one day become a golden core master. You must know, her previous position in the Ji family was merely a golden core family. The former patriarch was just an early-stage golden core cultivator. But now, she has reached the same status as the former patriarch. And she is still very young, just over 100 years old. There is even hope for nascent soul establishment in the future. Surpassing the former patriarch of the Ji family is imminent. Back when they were in Misty Cloud City, some people labeled her husband as a sponger. But now, in the blink of an eye, her husband had become a nascent soul cultivator. He even helped her form a core. Now it's unclear who is sponging off whom. But she also knows that without her husband's help, there's a high chance that as female cultivators at the chi cultivation stage like her would likely have died before even reaching foundation establishment. She would not have been able to form a core and become a gold core master, as she is now. Previously, when her husband said that she helped him, he would help her in return. This was not mere talk, but an actual promise. Thinking of this, her heart filled with sweetness, with love surging unceasingly. Indeed. Although we faced some minor setbacks when reaching core formation, on the whole, it was quite smooth, and rather uneventful. Xia Jinjian nodded. She never expected her core formation to be this smooth, just like water flowing into a channel, hardly causing any ripples. This probably has a lot to do with her husband. Because they constantly dual cultivate, day and night, their bodies have become extremely strong, with the qualities of a foundation establishment body cultivator, and have also refined the impurities in their mana. Furthermore, there were various spiritual medicines for core formation, and the golden liquid jade return pill, raising the success rate to over 90%. Thinking of how her husband always pushed her, she felt immensely grateful. Despite his impulsive nature, he is always excellent to her. Dear husband, without you, we probably would never have been able to form our cores in this lifetime. I really can't thank you enough. Muzii looked at Zhou Sui, her big watery eyes full of love. Gratitude should not be spoken, but made known through action. Zhou Sui uttered nonchalantly, looking at his three partners. After they ascended to the golden core realm, their bodies evolved to perfection, their skin smooth and fair, their figures seductive, like mature women. Added to that, the refinement of the obsession goo enhanced their beauty to an amazing extent. Every move they make, every smile and frown, is filled with irresistible charm. If released into the world, each of them would undoubtedly be women causing ruin and havoc to nations. We have recently learned a lot about cultivation, and we would like to discuss it with you. We hope you won't hold back in correcting us. Blushing, Ji Binjiu, Muzii, and Xia Jinjian looked at Zhou Sui with coquettish eyes. They adopted the appearance of diligent students, wanting to discuss cultivation with Zhou Sui. Well, I do love to teach. You can share any doubts you have. I can't guarantee that I can answer all your questions, but I can certainly provide some insight. After all, I am a nascent soul cultivator. In the Kanglan Sea area, there aren't many who can match me. Zhou Sui acted serious, looking like a stern teacher. Hearing this, Ji Binjiu, Muzii, and Xia Jinjian snickered, their faces blushing, their beautiful eyes rolled at him. This shameless man takes the inch when given a yard. If this shameless man really was to take in disciples, there's no doubt they would be beautiful female disciples. No knowing how many beautiful female cultivators would be spoiled by him. But they didn't refuse. Who were they to deny the wishes of knowledge-thirsty students? Shortly after, the four of them entered a room to discuss cultivation knowledge, the sound of their recitations rising and falling in turn. Clearly, they were all committed to cultivation. Even after advancing to the golden core realm, they did not forget about their cultivation. Studying is always joyful but also fleeting. In the blink of an eye, several days had passed. Clearly, Ji Binjiu, Muzii, and Xia Jinjian had been studying diligently, gathering a wealth of knowledge. They've completely consolidated their golden core realm cultivation. They even became so engrossed in studying that they couldn't stop. Of course, Zhou Sui had to put a stop to this, as cultivation should always have a balance between work and rest. Dear husband, the fourth stage spiritual wine is ready. At this moment, Lin Yazhu ran over, telling Zhou Sui this good news, her excitement palpable. Chapter 505. The Taoist couple advances to Golden Core, two realms merging _2. Oh, is it ready? At these words, Zhou Sui flashed and held Lin Yazhu, immediately arriving at a palace in Immortal Mist Peak. This place had been dug into a massive alcohol pool. The entire spacious pool was filled with copious amounts of spiritual wine, radiating a range of vivid colors, simultaneously pervaded with pure spiritual power. It was truly intoxicating. Husband, you're amazing. Where on earth did you find this heavenly earth spiritual pest? It actually managed to transform third stage spiritual wine into a fourth stage sun wine. The value of a pot of fourth stage spiritual wine is no less than a fourth stage treasure pill. Also, spiritual wine doesn't cause pill poisoning and can be perfectly absorbed by nascent soul cultivators. In terms of value, it even surpasses an ordinary fourth stage treasure pill. It's virtually a top-grade spirit stone vein. Chu Dai exclaimed in astonishment. She saw a rainbow-colored wine bug swimming inside this massive pool. The wine bug was swimming freely in the pool. And then the original third stage spiritual wine underwent metamorphosis, ascending to the level of fourth stage spiritual wine. If she had not witnessed it with her own eyes, she would not have believed that such an incredible thing could happen. It was practically taking over the creative work of nature. Without a doubt, if this pool of fourth stage spiritual wine were to be sold, it would garner at least thousands of high-grade spirit stones. The value of it is simply beyond imagination. Even as a nascent soul cultivator of the Sky Demon sect, she was astounded by the worth of this pool of fourth stage spiritual wine. Good, very good. Zhou Sui chuckled, took a wine cup from the side, filled it with wine, and drank it down. Boom! Suddenly, the power of the fourth stage sun wine instantly infiltrated his body and swiftly transformed into pure nascent soul mana. He felt the swift increase of nascent soul mana within his body. The medicinal effect of just one cup of fourth stage sun wine could save him a month of intense cultivation. And there was not any pill poisoning. If he could drink fourth stage spiritual wine every day, his cultivation would likely progress at an amazing speed. Of course, he couldn't possibly drink wine every day. After all, it is still fundamentally wine, it's not possible to drink it daily, otherwise, he would be drunk and dreaming all day and wouldn't be able to do anything. At most, he could drink a cup every few days, which was the best way to mitigate the side effects of the spiritual wine. But even that would be more than enough. Before he had concocted a large quantity of 4th stage treasure pills, using this 4th stage spiritual wine to aid in cultivation was also a good choice. Well, it's naturally due to a fortuitous opportunity I had. However, if we can't finish this 4th stage spiritual wine, we can sell it. Otherwise, there is no need to sell it. Zhou Sui smiled slightly. To be honest, he was not short of money now. Having blackmailed so many high-grade spirit stones and 4th stage materials from various nascent soul cultivators, he could now be considered as one of the wealthiest cultivators in the Kanglan Sea. Even those great nascent soul late-stage cultivators can't match him. So, he didn't need to rely on the 4th stage spiritual wine to make money. It had to be said that once the cultivation reaches a certain level, making money becomes an absolutely effortless task. Even if you don't master formations, runes, alchemy, artifact refining, and other cultivation arts. Just being a nascent soul cultivator alone would mean numerous cultivators and power groups would voluntarily offer you money. Rumble. Just at this moment, suddenly, the entire island, even the entire sea area, began to shake slightly. It hummed, a sound that seemed to spread over tens of thousands of miles. Even the surrounding void began to tremble. What's happening? Why is there another earthquake? Could it be that another legacy of divinity transformation has surfaced? Lin Yazhu was shocked. She remembered that the last time the Kurong sect's divinity transformation legacy surfaced, it was the same. There were huge vibrations, and rosy clouds stretched for miles. That time attracted countless nascent soul cultivators to converge upon the site. It turned this sea area into a chaotic center, causing drastic changes in the Wuji alliance. No, it's not the legacy of divinity transformation that's emerged. Because the range of this vibration is too vast. At least the entire Wuji alliance is affected, even the other seas felt the shock. I fear that this shock has affected the entire Kanglan Sea area. Zhou Sui's face was very serious, he realized the unusual nature of the situation, and faintly sensed a streak of bad premonitions. Such a great commotion, I'm afraid it's not something a legacy of divinity transformation could compare to. He felt as though there was a looming disaster, as if countless waves of calamitous qi enveloped the Kanglan Sea area. It can't be, the earthquake vibrations are so massive, what on earth happened? Lin Yazhu and Chu Dai looked at each other in bewilderment, they also didn't know what happened, they were completely baffled. Another dozen or so days passed. Finally, news came back from the Wuji alliance about the cause of the vibration that affected the Kanglan Sea area. Zhou friend, we're in trouble now. Master Peach Blossom said solemnly, in the sea area where the Piao Miao Palace and the Sea Clan cultivators are located, there appeared void omens. These are signs of two realms merging. I'm afraid that another world is approaching our cultivation world, and we are about to intersect with another world. Her complexion was very serious. The merging of two realms? What does that mean? Lin Yazhu and others asked curiously, after all, they were only cultivators from the Golden Core sect, and naturally knew less about ancient secrets than those from the Nascent Soul sect. Words like merging of two realms were unheard of to them. It's actually like this. Master Peach Blossom also understood the confusion of Lin Yazhu and others, so she explained in detail the phenomenon of realm merging and the disaster that occurred in the ancient era. It can't be, demon disaster and monster disaster in the cultivation world in ancient times were caused by the merging of the two realms. Hearing this, Lin Yazhu and others were shocked. This was the first time they had heard such ancient secrets. It turned out that the monsters and demons were not the indigenous creatures of the cultivation world, but the creatures from other worlds. It was just because of the phenomenon of realm merging that caused a large number of monsters and demons to come from other worlds, and they stayed in the cultivation world to reproduce. Even due to these disasters, a large number of nascent soul sects and divinity transformation sects were obliterated. It was indeed a disaster for the cultivation world. Master Peach Blossom, if that's the case, isn't the disaster of the ancient times likely to be repeated today? Ji Binjiu and others were worried. After all, they had just advanced to the Golden Core realm not long ago, and they encountered such a realm-merging phenomenon that has only happened once in tens of thousands of years. It is simply unbelievable, they were utterly unlucky. To be honest, what happened in the ancient times is very likely to happen. And the disaster we encounter might be even worse. After all, in the ancient times, our Kanglan Sea area had a divinity transformation sect. But what about now? At most, we have nascent soul sects, and not a single divinity transformation cultivator. If creatures from another world invade in large numbers, a war between two worlds will definitely break out, which is inevitable. So now the whole Kanglan Sea area, many nascent soul powers are on high alert. Once the realm merging phenomenon continues to occur, a war unprecedented in history will definitely break out. Master Peach Blossom said helplessly. She also did not expect such a thing to happen. They had just ended the war with the Sea Clan cultivators, and they had not enjoyed peace for long enough. Who could have thought that the cultivation world would undergo a realm merging phenomenon that only occurred once in tens of thousands of years? The entire cultivation world was invaded by creatures of another realm. This was bound to be the most vast and widely affecting war since the ancient times. No one could avoid it. Why did the realm merging phenomenon occur? There were no such signs before. Shen Baiqian was puzzled. She felt that the occurrence of the realm merging was too coincidental, always making her feel that there was a conspiracy behind it. It's all the fault of those Sea Clan cultivators. It's said that the realm merging phenomenon happened because of what the Sea Clan did. The previous war between the human clan and the Sea Clan was deliberately started by the Sea Clan. They purposely started the war to get a large number of corpses, a large number of sacrifices, so as to activate the Sea Clan's ancient monster altar. When this ancient monster altar was activated, it connected to the ancient monster world. As a result, it accelerated the approach of the ancient monster world and the cultivation world, resulting in the phenomenon of two realms merging. Master Peach Blossom said solemnly. Chapter 506. Master Peach Blossom likes married men. Old cow eating young grass _1. This is the work of the Sea Clan. Upon hearing this, Chu Dai, Lin Yazhu, Shen Baiqian, and others exchanged surprised looks. They were quite shocked. They originally thought that after the Sea Clan's defeat, it would take thousands of years before they could potentially regather their forces. During this period, they didn't expect to hear any news about the Sea Clan. Who would have thought that this war was purposely provoked by the Sea Clan? Even their loss had been anticipated by the Sea Clan cultivators. Because their goal was not only to defeat the human clan but also to harvest a large number of flesh and blood offerings. The result was, predictably, advantageous for the Sea Clan. Furthermore, they were overwhelmingly victorious. The deaths of many creatures resulted in a great harvest for the ancient beast altar, which naturally activated, and connected with the demon realm. This has accelerated the fusion of the demon realm and the cultivation world. The previous spatial tremors were due to the encountering of the two worlds, which affected the entire cultivation world. This was a warning sign. So you're saying the previous war initiated by the Sea Clan was not intended to defeat the human clan, but to harvest a large amount of offerings, activate the ancient beast altar, and promote the fusion of the two worlds. The Sea Clan is very insidious. Zhou Sui was also astounded. He had to acknowledge the cunning of the Sea Clan. They had manipulated the human clan masterfully. The Sea Clan knew well that they were no match for the human clan. Therefore, the aim of starting the war was simply to obtain offerings to activate the ancient beast altar. From the looks of it now, the Sea Clan had thoroughly accomplished their goal. They had propelled the fusion of the cultivation world and the demon realm. Afterward, hordes of monsters and demons would swarm from the demon realm into the cultivation world. This development would geometrically strengthen the power of the demon clan in the Kanglan Sea. In that case, the human clan of the Kanglan Sea area may no longer be a match for the Sea Clan. It's possible that the human clan will be beaten into a shambled retreat. Eventually, they may only hold on to some remote islands. Never again would they have the potential to contend with the Sea Clan. If this is the case, when will the demon realm be completely interconnected with the cultivation world? Lang Yuexi couldn't help but ask. Well, for now, there have only been signs of void tremors. To form a completely stable gateway between the worlds would take decades, or even hundreds of years. So we still have some time to prepare. Of course, there's no need to worry too much. Even if a stable gateway does form, it's not as simple as one would think for the God-transformed honored ones to cross through into the cultivation world. Master Peach Blossom said solemnly. Ah, why is that? Zhou Sui asked curiously. Naturally, this is because the power of the God-transformed honored ones is too great. A gateway that's just beginning to form cannot withstand the power of the God-transformed honored ones. Unless the power of the gateway continues to grow, creating a stable spatial tunnel. Only then can a gateway that allows God transformation cultivators to pass through take shape. But it would take at least several hundred years to fully form. Master Peach Blossom explained. After all, God transformed honored ones are too powerful, it's not as simple as one would think to cross through a gateway. If that's the case, then it's a relief. We can cope with the invasion of just nascent soul monsters into the cultivation world. But if God transformation monsters were to appear, then there would be no resistance, surrender would be the only option. Shen Baiqian was immensely relieved. After all, looking at the current strength of the Kanglan Sea area, if a fifth stage monster appeared, it could sweep through the entire sea area, no one could oppose it. The appearance of a fifth stage monster in the Kanglan Sea would be like attacking from a higher dimension. Of course, this is not a permanent plan. After hundreds of years, once the gateway stabilizes, the fifth stage monsters of the demon realm could descend. If that's the case, why don't we take the initiative to strike? Set up traps near the gateway. As soon as a monster crosses it, immediately launch a thunderous offensive and kill them on the spot. Nip the enemy in the bud. Lang Yuexi said somberly. She believed that rather than waiting for the monsters to invade, it would be better to attack proactively. That way, the risk could be minimized. Things aren't as simple as you imagine them. This is about the fusion of two worlds. There are too many places where void signs have materialized. These gateways, large and small, are scattered throughout the cultivation world. Even if we can block some of them, we can't block them all. What if the monsters decide not to enter from the gateways where we've set traps and instead choose other routes? Then all our previous preparations would have been in vain. It would also be a waste of our resources. Master Peach Blossom shook his head. Frankly, the nascent soul powerhouses naturally want to block the source, but there are just too many gateways. It's pretty much like a sieve that can't be completely blocked. So, you're saying that the Kanglan Sea area is not the only place where gateways might appear. Gateways could also appear in other regions of the cultivation world. Zhou Sui thought of this first. After all, the cultivation world is immeasurably vast and not limited to just the Kanglan Sea area. The place where they are not consists just a small region of it. Although they value the Kanglan Sea area greatly. But for the enormous cultivation world, it's not that significant. Chapter 507. Master Peach Blossom likes married men. Old cow eating young grass _2. Indeed, it could indeed lead to the appearance of realm gates. Take, for example, the East Wastelands, West Wastelands, North Wastelands, and South Wastelands of the cultivation world. These places are the main gathering places for the human clan in our cultivation world. In comparison, our Kanglan Sea region could be considered a rural area. It is said that these continents have the presence of nascent soul sects. Hence, there is no need to worry about the survival of humans on these continents, we only need to look after ourselves. Master Peach Blossom briefly outlined the distribution of power in the entire cultivation world. However, she didn't know much about these continents either. She only knew about them from ancient texts. After all, the Kanglan Sea was far too distant from these continents. There's no chance within this lifetime to reach these continents. As such, she wasn't interested in these places. In truth, the emergence of realm gates may not necessarily be a bad thing for our cultivation world. If these beasts can invade into our cultivation world, why can't we invade into the ancient demon realm? On what grounds can our cultivation world be invaded by these beasts, while we are not allowed to invade the ancient demon realm? Are you saying the ancient demon realm is actually stronger than our cultivation world? Chu Dai said. She instead saw this as a great opportunity to invade the ancient demon realm. It is said that the ancient demon realm contains many treasures unique to the realm. If they could enter the ancient demon realm, they might also have chances to obtain great amounts of cultivation resources and treasures. Indeed, that's not impossible. However, we don't know much about the ancient demon realm. If we recklessly invaded, we might encounter unpredictable dangers. But it doesn't rule out the possibility that some are planning to invade the ancient demon realm. Yet, as far as I know, the ancient demon realm is indeed more powerful than our cultivation world. One important reason is that the lifespans of the demon clan cultivators are longer than ours. Our human clan god transformation cultivators can only survive for 3,000 years. However, 5th stage demon clan cultivators can survive for over 10,000 years. It's not that their individual combat strength is stronger than ours. It's just due to their longevity, the numbers of god transformation cultivators in the world are greater. It is rumored that the last time the cultivation world and ancient demon realm merged, a large number of 5th stage demon cultivators invaded. If it wasn't for the power of the 7th order formation, we might not have been able to resist the invasion from the ancient demon realm. Master Peach Blossom said seriously. If the ancient demon realm was weak, the cultivation world would naturally invade and plunder resources. Regrettably, the ancient demon realm's power is overwhelming. It is far beyond the reach of our fragmented human cultivation world. Even some ancient era god transformed beasts might still be alive, hiding somewhere in the ancient demon realm. These are all old monsters of the ancient demon realm. So, it seems the threat of the ancient demon realm is significant. Chu Dai had to accept this point. Even the prestigious figures from the ancient demon realm weren't comparable to those in the cultivation world of the Kanglan Sea. No wonder the demon cultivators of the ancient demon realm would initiate an invasion. In this case, I wonder what the Wuji Alliance, Tianjian Sect, Piao Miao Palace, and other nascent soul powers will do. Zhou Sui asked curiously, wanting to know the impending plans of the Wuji Alliance. Although he himself was a nascent soul cultivator, the real backbone of the Kanglan Sea area was still these nascent soul powers. He himself was just a minor player. If a real battle broke out, it wouldn't be his turn to take the lead. Well, this needs further discussion, and no specific plan has been provided yet. You are a nascent soul cultivator now, an elder of the Wuji Alliance. I'm afraid you will need to attend the Wuji Alliance's meeting this time. Master Peach Blossom looked deeply at Zhou Sui, sensing an inexplicable flavor. Attend the Wuji Alliance's meeting? No problem at all, Zhou Sui nodded. To be honest, he also wanted to meet the many nascent soul cultivators of the Wuji Alliance. Now he was on an equal footing with these nascent soul cultivators and could be considered a player in the Kanglan Sea area. Even senior nascent soul cultivators cannot afford to look down on him. Of course, even so, he won't attend in person, sending a clone would be enough. Just in case something unexpected happens during the meeting. Whatever you do, you always need to think 3 steps ahead, looking before and after, preparing for contingencies. A day later, Zhou Sui, Master Peach Blossom, and Lin Yazhu teleport directly to Wuji Island via the teleportation array on Woodstar Island. As for Chu Dai, of course, she stayed on Immortal Mist Peak. After all, she was a nascent soul elder of the Sky Demon sect, so it was not suitable for her to be exposed in front of the Wuji Alliance people. Now, besides Zhou Sui and others, no one knew Chu Dai's true identity and strength. The cultivators of the Immortal Mist sect only knew she was Zhou Sui's lover. Wuji Island, hey! In no time, after a dizzying turnaround, Zhou Sui found himself on a vast plain, surrounded by rich nature's spiritual energy. Obviously, he had arrived at Wuji Island. Honestly, his feelings upon arriving at Wuji Island this time were quite different. Before, he was just an ordinary Foundation establishment cultivator, and felt the Wuji Island was an enormous entity terrorizing the sea area, unparalleled to anyone else. But now, he had become one of the elders in Wuji Alliance. Chapter 508. Master Peach Blossom likes married men. Old cow eating young grass _3. Keep in mind, the entire Wuji Alliance only harbors about 30-odd nascent soul cultivators. He, in fact, is one of them. This means that he already stands among the top-notch leaders of numerous cultivators in this marine territory, existing at the level of a venerable ancestor. Elder Zhou, Elder Lin, Elder Peach Blossom. Welcome to Wuji Island. The Alliance Hierarch has been waiting for you for a long time in Wuji Palace. At this moment, several Golden Core managers stepped forward, their demeanor one of utmost respect. One of the Golden Core managers was, astonishingly, Peng Hao. This man was one of the Golden Core managers who had previously welcomed Zhou Sui and others into the Wuji Alliance. But while he was in the late Golden Core phase a few decades ago, he remains in the same stage now. His cultivation has not changed much. Of course, this is very common for Golden Core cultivators. Even if they're trapped at this bottleneck for hundreds of years without any change, they accept this scenario as usual. In truth, the unusually rapid progress of someone like Zhou Sui is mind-boggling. Inconceivable, even. Ah, it's friend Peng Hao, so many years have passed, how have you been recently? Zhou Sui looked at this Golden Core manager Peng Hao, and flashed a slight smile. Oh, no, Elder Zhou, you flatter me too much. I wouldn't dare to call you a peer, just calling me Peng Hao will do. Peng Hao, the Golden Core manager, replied flightily, a ripple of fear coursing through him. He was truly in a mixed emotional state and at a loss for words. Truthfully, he had never taken this youngster seriously back then, considering him a mere pathetic face masked by the power of a golden core female cultivator. But who could have imagined? Fate is a river horrid in the east and merciful in the west, the winds of fortune shift relentlessly. This effeminate boy had just spent a few decades, breaking through from the Foundation establishment realm. And not only did he ascend to the golden core, but he even advanced to the nascent soul realm. He had surpassed his own, a late golden core cultivator's level, in one fell swoop. He even wondered whether he would ever have the opportunity to become a nascent soul cultivator in his lifetime. And just like that, the other party transitioned from being a junior to his senior in a flash. He was at a loss for words to describe how he felt about this. No worries needed, it's only a form of address after all. We have a meeting to attend today, so I'm not going to chit-chat with friend Peng Hao. You're welcome to be my guest at the Tri-Star Island group when you get a chance. Zhou Sui chuckled. Of course, of course. Peng Hao, the Golden Core manager, definitely didn't dare decline. He nodded in agreement, repeatedly. Let's get going, the meeting is about to start. Master Peach Blossom hastily urged. Ah, right. Zhou Sui nodded in agreement. Soon, their figures flickered, flying towards a distant mountain peak. That mountain peak was Wuji Island's tallest, known as Wuji Peak. A vast and luxurious palace, known as Wuji Palace, was constructed atop the peak. There were pavilions, towers, small bridges and flowing water everywhere around. This place was the central meeting place for the entire Wuji Alliance. Whenever a significant event transpired within the Wuji Alliance, many nascent soul cultivators would assemble in Wuji Palace. At this moment, a good deal of nascent soul cultivators had already arrived inside Wuji Palace. They sat around a giant round table. This was their round table conference. Huge stone chairs were placed around the round table. Every nascent soul cultivator took a seat. A unique aura emanated from each one of them. It seemed as if numerous nascent soul domains were clashing against each other. Wuji Palace, the Round Table Conference. A multitude of nascent soul cultivators sat in their places. I heard that 2 new early-stage nascent soul cultivators have appeared in our Wuji Alliance. I wonder if this news is true or false. The speaker was Deist Xian Cheng, one of the only 4 nascent soul late-stage cultivators in the Wuji Alliance. He looked at Deist Unlimited, the hierarch of the Wuji Alliance, with a lot of curiosity. Yes, it is indeed true. One is named Zhou Sui, the other is Lin Yizhu. They both joined our Wuji Alliance a few decades ago. Recently, both of them have been successful in forming the nascent soul and thus naturally become elders in our Wuji Alliance. Deist Unlimited nodded. I'm not concerned about that nascent soul female cultivator Lin Yizhu. But that Zhou Sui is extraordinary. Rumor has it that he was only a cultivator in the Foundation establishment realm when he first arrived at our Wuji Alliance. In just a few decades, he broke through all the way, promoting not only to the Golden Core stage but even to the nascent soul stage. So far, he is barely over 100 years old. Deist Suyun murmured. He was also one of the 4 late-stage nascent soul cultivators, highly respected in the Wuji Alliance. Are you kidding? This can't be true. Forming a nascent soul at the age of 100? It's laughable. Even those prodigies in the nascent soul sects can't do that. Not only can the true disciples of the nascent soul sect not do it, but even if it's one of those monstrous talents from the chemical god sect of the ancient era who comes around once in 1,000 years, they can't do it either. Forming a nascent soul at the age of 100 is of the caliber of divinity transformation. If this were the cultivation world in the ancient era, it would almost guarantee a divinity transformation. Even in this day and age, we can't promise divinity transformation, but at least reaching the late stage of nascent soul is almost certainly a guarantee. What is Zhou Sui's background after all? Rumor has it that they are cultivators from some remote marine territories, from Immortal Mist Island. Immortal Mist Island? It seems that I've heard of such a place somewhere. This island was a 4th stage island thousands of years ago and had once interacted with our Wuji Alliance. But, due to a demonic disaster, the 4th stage spirit vein was destroyed and the teleportation array was ruined. Its abrupt dereliction isolated it from the world. Could it really be that such a monstrous talent would emerge from this isolated island? Moreover, when this person was forming a nascent soul, he didn't exchange for a nascent soul pill in our Wuji Alliance. This means he depended on his own power to get the spiritual items necessary for forming a nascent soul, ensuring a smooth transition to the nascent soul stage. I'm afraid the opportunities he stumbled upon were quite something. Chapter 509. Master Peach Blossom likes married men. Old cow eating young grass _4. Hehe, indeed it's extraordinary. But, aren't all of us in this room here because we had extraordinary opportunities? Without sufficient luck, no one could ever become a nascent soul cultivator. The numerous nascent soul elders discussed in a commotion, expressing their astonishment. Although they knew that the Wuji Alliance had two new, promising nascent souls, they had no idea that one of these fresh nascent souls would be so monstrous, to have achieved nascent soul status at a mere 100 years old, boasting the potential for divinity transformation. They were also certain that Zhou Sui must have stumbled upon a great fortune. Otherwise it wouldn't have been possible for him to successfully reach nascent soul status so easily. But so what? As an early-stage nascent soul cultivator, he already possessed strength enough to instill fear in others. Should a small child possess gold, naturally it would incite envy and greed in others. But if fierce warriors like Zhang Fei or Guan Yu were the ones handling the gold, they'd think twice before taking action. They wouldn't dare entertain any ideas. The same principle applies here. Even though they knew that Zhou Sui must have a substantial fortune, they wouldn't dare covet anything. Of course, they didn't know exactly what these elders were thinking, but at the very least, they wouldn't make any moves outwardly. However, I've heard that our friend Zhou Sui seems to be rather close with the Alliance Hierarch's daughter. Even the Hierarch's daughter moved voluntarily to the Tri-Star Island group. It seems like a happy event might occur soon. Daoist Su Yun smirked slightly as he looked at Daoist Unlimited. What? With his words, the nascent soul cultivators were instantly stunned, their minds being stirred by waves of shock. Compared to just now when they learned that Zhou Sui was a nascent soul cultivator at the tender age of 100, this news was even more shocking. Because Master Peach Blossom was renowned as the premier beauty of the Wuji Alliance, and was even known throughout the lands, rumored to be the top beauty in the entire Kanglan Sea region. Scores of cultivators sought to win her affection as such an alluring, eligible bachelorette. Many among them also admired Master Peach Blossom and wished to pursue her, to take her as their Daoist mate. Yet now, rumors started swirling that Master Peach Blossom was already taken. They all stood there agape, unable to believe what they were hearing. This. Indeed, there's some truth to this. But these are matters of the younger generation. As their elders, it's not appropriate for us to meddle. Upon hearing this, Daoist Unlimited twitched at the corner of his mouth, unsure of what to say. To be honest, when he first found out that his daughter was infatuated with that man, he was rather dissatisfied. For him, he saw Zhou Sui as nothing more than a mere golden core cultivator. How could such a person be enough for his daughter? But things were different now. This young man's talent was beyond imagination. At only 100 years old, he had succeeded in establishing his nascent soul. Throughout the entirety of Kanglan Sea region, few cultivators could compete with the youth's talent. Giving him time, he might even achieve divinity transformation. If that were the case, a man like him could indeed balance out his daughter. However, he heard that his daughter moved voluntarily to where the man resides and never returned to Peach Blossom Island, indicating that she planned to stay there for a long time. This frustrated him to no end. Even if she truly loved the man, as an unmarried woman, she ran off to live with a man. Wasn't this degrading? What if this scum toyed with his daughter's feelings? What would he do then? Won't her reputation be ruined? Therefore, he intended to use this conference to seek justice for his daughter. At this statement, the nascent soul cultivators present went into an uproar. Because such an answer was considered an acknowledgement from Daoist Unlimited himself, it confirmed the truth in Daoist Su Yun's words. Tisk tisk, unbelievable, is Master Peach Blossom, who has been single for more than 500 years, finally going to have a Daoist mate. It seems like Master Peach Blossom is into younger men. Indeed, considering their ages, Master Peach Blossom could well be that man's grandmother. This is typical. We like younger female cultivators, and Master Peach Blossom likes younger male cultivators, it's the same logic. Why not me? Didn't we match so well? I heard Master Peach Blossom has had her eyes on Zhou Sui for quite some time. Even when he was just in the Foundation establishment realm, she was already attracted to him. If it weren't for the fact that he already had a concubine, she might have claimed him forcibly. No way, this man already has a concubine? So, is it to say that Master Peach Blossom fell for a married man? That's rather over the top. If Master Peach Blossom marries Zhou Sui, wouldn't she just be one of his deist mates? When did the famous Master Peach Blossom have to settle for this? It's like a beautiful flower planted in cow dung, why would a man like that be favored by Master Peach Blossom? The nascent soul cultivators communicated discreetly with each other using divine consciousness transmission, discussing the intelligence they had gathered. The nascent soul cultivators who were secretly in love with Master Peach Blossom were grinding their teeth in anger. They felt troubled, frustrated, and even a sense of loss. Chapter 510. Which nascent soul isn't polygamous, marrying Master Peach Blossom _1. Whoosh. At this moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared outside the Wuji Palace. It was none other than Zhou Sui, Lin Yazhu, and Master Peach Blossom. The instant they appeared at the Wuji Palace, many nascent soul cultivators immediately noticed them. Zhou Sui in particular, became the focus of everyone's attention. After all, this exceptional individual boasted a striking divinity transformation appearance, was favored by Master Peach Blossom, and even attracted cultivators who were willing to coexist in a polygamous relationship, thus making everyone curious about his appearance. Can't believe it, this guy is incredibly handsome, with a clear-cut face and elegant demeanor. His eyes shine like stars under his sword-like eyebrows, possessing unparalleled grace. He is just like a celestial being banished from heaven. Could such a charming man exist in this world? No wonder he caught the eye of Master Peach Blossom when he was at the foundation establishment stage, he is blessed with good looks. Owning such looks, he doesn't even have to rely on his cultivation, and he would still be the target of countless female cultivators. Initially, I wanted to criticize him for being all style and no substance, but considering his nascent soul accomplishment within a mere 100 years and his divinity transformation, I'm left speechless. How can there be such a vast gap between people? Not only is he handsome, but he also has extraordinary cultivation talents and immense destiny fortune. The heavens are truly unjust. It's no wonder that Master Peach Blossom is fond of him. If I were a woman, I would probably be head over heels for him too. If I looked like that, achieving a 3000 Deo companions would be a piece of cake. They say he was flexible and cunning during his time on the immortal Mist Island, earning him the nickname Heavenly Jade Deist. Countless female cultivators willingly served him and spent their family fortunes, this facilitated his foundation establishment. No doubt he is successful with his extraordinary talents, his adaptability, and good looks. The many nascent soul cultivators communicated through divine consciousness transmission. They originally intended to discuss and critique Zhou Sui. But the moment they saw Zhou Sui, they were rendered speechless. Because the man was too perfect, they couldn't find any flaws. Even the men among them couldn't find bad words for him. Even if they do, they would be considered envious, which could harm their own reputation. Indeed, the perfection of Zhou Sui's appearance and temperament had a great deal to do with the 5th stage obsession gu. With the continual power increase of the obsession gu, Zhou Sui's appearance and temperament had been transformed to absolute perfection. Not only did women adore him upon seeing him, even men would develop a liking for him. After all, men who have reached a certain level of perfection would not even incite jealousy from others. One would only think that such a person is not of this world. No wonder my daughter loses herself and falls in love every day. Deist Unlimited sighed, he had got nothing to say. Even though he had received many pieces of intelligence about Zhou Sui, he had not seen what Zhou Sui looked like. Now that he had seen him in person, he understood his daughter's thoughts. No wonder his daughter, who had been single for more than 500 years, had never planned to get married. However, after meeting this man, she rapidly abandoned all of her previous thoughts. She even took the initiative to present herself to him. He could only say that this man was an earthly deity. Father. Master Peach Blossom's face blushed slightly. At this moment, she felt a little nervous, as if she was introducing Zhou Sui to her father-in-law. She had never had such a feeling before. She felt indescribably shy. So this is Deist Zhou of Immortal Mist City, whom I have heard so much about. Do you have a specific date in mind for your marriage to my daughter? Carrying on like this can't be the solution. After all, my daughter is over 500 years old, becoming an old maid, she can't wait any longer. Deist Unlimited looked at Zhou Sui, he didn't beat around the bush, but spoke straightforwardly to Zhou Sui. Nobody knows a daughter better than her father. He knew exactly what his daughter was thinking. It was likely that she wanted to utilize her father's power to coerce this man into marriage. He could never have imagined that his beautiful daughter would one day be so proactive. As an old father, it was his duty to give his daughter a push. What? Upon hearing this, Zhou Sui was stunned. Didn't he come to Wuji Island to negotiate about the imminent realm melding incident? How did his marriage to Master Peach Blossom come up all of a sudden? Seeing the blushing Master Peach Blossom next to him, radiant and incredibly beautiful, how could he not know that he had been tricked? Master Peach Blossom was probably growing impatient due to his continual avoidance of the issue. She wanted to use her father's influence to pressure him into making a commitment. After all, she was already a spinster. Senior, I don't really oppose it. But I already have a Dao companion, I'm afraid she might feel mistreated. Zhou Sui blinked. That's not a big deal. Which nascent soul cultivator in the world doesn't have multiple wives and concubines? As long as both parties are willing, there's no issue. Since you don't mind, then I'll make the decision here. Let's have the Dao companion ceremony 7 days from now. Daughter, you don't have any objections, do you? Daoist Unlimited immediately decided on the spot, as if fearful that Zhou Sui might object. Father's word is final. Master Peach Blossom's face flushed slightly, bashful and shy, looking like a charming maiden. This left an extremely touching impression, making others' hearts beat faster.